Guys, welcome back to August Love Story, the channel. My name is Artieka.
And I'm Tommy.
And today we are reviewing Married at First Sight Season 13, Episode 7. And that episode is titled Home Not Alone. So everybody basically is going back to the neutral apartment from the honeymoon. But before they live in the neutral apartment, they're taking their spouses back to their apartment or home that they live in. So I guess we can start with, I'll just do them in the order I have them written down. Jose and Rachel. So they move into the neutral space, and one of the first things that they say in that space is, Rachel's like, oh my gosh, they have a dishwasher. And Jose's like, I don't use dishwashers. And I was like, I don't care. I can use the dishwasher.
Right.
When it's your day to wash dishes,
you wash them by
hand. They ain't got nothing to do with me. But don't stop me from using the dishwasher because you don't like dishwashers. That ain't got nothing to do with me.
But shouldn't dishwashers be expected now?
Yes, they absolutely should.
Like at this point? Like,
yes.
Okay.
I think that I've only lived one place that didn't have a dishwasher.
Yeah.
My entire life.
Yeah. The place like home, we didn't have a dishwasher. We washed by hand.
Y'all did have a dishwasher.
No, we didn't.
Yes, y'all did. It was a dishwasher in their kitchen.
Not in Mama's kitchen.
Yes, it was.
Where?
Beside the sink.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was. I had a conversation with your grandma about it.
You talking about my dad's mom?
Nope. Talking about your mother's mom.
Nah, it wasn't no dishwasher in there, man.
Okay.
I lived there. You've only visited there.
And I know what I saw.
Okay.
Anywho, they sit down and they have a conversation about what time they get up in the morning, basically like what their morning routines are, because they've only had the vacation version of each other. So Rachel says that she sets 4 alarms to get up, and Jose was like, why don't you just get up? She was like, because I don't.
Because everybody else has 18 alarms to get up. I know I have 2 of them.
I do as well. And I work from home across the hall.
Right.
And I still have 2 alarms. They're only 4 minutes apart.
Right.
But one of them is are you up? The other one is, okay, girl, you need to go across the hall.
Yeah.
So.
No, I felt like that was normal. You know, the 15-minute increments. Yeah, somewhere in the middle, she'll go ahead and get up.
Usually. And then you use the last alarm as your, okay, you need to be getting ready to walk out the door.
Right.
It made sense to me. Did not make sense to him.
Made a lot of sense to me.
So what we're finding is Jose is the person that just, doesn't make a ton of sense.
Yeah.
Or I won't say doesn't make a ton of sense.
He's very by the book, scheduled guy.
He's particular.
And they said that. They've been saying that. So it's like, now we believe you.
Yeah. Let's see. So first, Rachel goes over to Jose's place, and they show his budget board, and there was so many numbers on the budget board. I was like, he's putting $1,500 a month into his HSA. I thought you could only put $3,000 annually.
Yeah,
I was like, something is. Maybe this is his yearly goal, but he wrote monthly expenses on it. I don't know. It just didn't make sense to me.
I looked at that board and I was like, that's extreme.
I wouldn't even think of it as extreme because I think I mentioned on one of our previous reviews, I don't know if it was for this season, but I have a cousin who she and her husband did that. When they found out how much their paychecks were going to be every 2 weeks, I don't know if they're still doing it now because they're over a decade into marriage, but they got married really, really young. We were still teenagers when they got married, and she's my age. But they would find out how much their paychecks were, write the combined amount that they would be taking home on a whiteboard on the refrigerator, and then they would subtract expenses that do not change.
Yeah.
So the rent is always this much. The car note is always this much. The car insurance is always this much. And they would go through just to have a running total on how much money they would have. And so, makes complete sense for the budget. However, I just felt like it was a little excessive for me. But I guess I'm not Jose, so you find your person, and mine wouldn't be him. So then they go to Rachel's home, and Jose starts off walking in the door complaining because she had like 5 gallons of water sitting by the door. And she was like, yeah, you know what that's from, right? Like as if to make conversation. And it was from the big winter storm that they just had in Houston this year. And I'm like, I mean, I get it that you have water bottles. And he's like, you could have just taken those out. Like you pass by them every day.
Yeah.
I'm like, so on your way out today, you grab them.
Go ahead and grab them. I just thought that was like so nitpicky. He knows, like at this point, he knows what type of woman he has. And that was like, that, just to be honest, that was something that me and you had to fight through as far as like I'm a more neat person than you are. Mm-hmm. And it was like trying to figure out how to navigate that. So I'm curious to see how the navigation of his cleanliness to her, I don't want to say she's dirty because she's not dirty.
No, her house wasn't messy by any means.
Her not as clean, like her not being as neat as he is. I'm curious to see how they navigate that thing.
And then all you gotta do is have a kid, and nobody's neat anymore.
No, everybody's like, figure it out, man.
You just like make sure we vacuum up the crumbs. Your toys, they go where they go. Let's see. So, they then sit down and have a meeting with Pastor Cal at the neutral space, and Pastor Cal asked him, how's everything going? What is your biggest concern? And Jose said his biggest concern is finances. He says that he wants to forego a trip or 2 or 3 to Europe, to save for some financial goals. And I'm happy Pastor Cal said, don't snuff her fun. Mm-hmm. He's like, you're being a fun snuffer. You're like saying we can't afford things without having ever even looked to see if you can afford things. And I'm like, I get it. Like, we all look at finances as what have I been doing and what can I do better? Like with a spouse, like you always think, okay, marrying your lives means that you're going to create more expenses, but you don't necessarily always create more expenses. You get to cut some expenses as well, because now let's just say she was bringing home $5,000 a month and she was paying $2,000 of that in rent. Well, now you have $2,000 because she can move in with you.
Right.
And it's not that you have the $2,000, but collectively, you guys have the $2,000.
I think, because I deal with this in a lot of times, even now. I think it's not that we can't afford it. It's for Jose, what I was thinking was for Jose, this is not what I normally do. Mm-hmm. I don't go on trips like that and stuff. It's, hey, we just got married. We're doing this. I'm not thinking about a trip because I have to figure out this marriage part. So before I think about going to, what she say, Switzerland or somewhere like a big grand trip, I need to go somewhere that I know I can handle. And that's why I think he brought up New York and something else.
Places that do not compare to Switzerland.
It doesn't compare to it, but it's like those are places he feel like he can handle. Reason why he brought it up, I'm assuming. But the thing about the trips and everything else, it's like my mind is not going on a trip right now. My mind is not thinking about, okay, well, we need to go somewhere big this year, where I'm still trying to figure out, 1, this marriage thing, 2, the finances of how we're going to, how we can mend those together, and 3, what it's going to look like. what the bills and stuff are going to look like. So, yeah, okay, I understand you take your trips and everything, but the answer is no right now.
And I don't like that. And the reason I don't like that is because I don't think at one point that Rachel said, let's take a trip next month.
She didn't, but
that's where your brain went.
As a man.
But that's not what she said.
Right, exactly. And I'm telling you, like, as a man that thinks about finances first, that's a cost that we don't need right now. So, yeah, trips are fine, trips are fun and everything like that. But right now, today, we need to be thinking about something else. And that's what it is.
And at what point do you allow her to think about something else?
I mean, she can, I don't know.
Snuffing her fun.
Right. I'm not saying that he was wrong. I'm just telling you the thought process that I thought.
You're a fun snuffer too, though.
I am.
Yeah.
I am, but I'm trying to get better at it and say, hey, we'll do like our Greece trip. I really want to go. And I'm like, hey, can you get it together? Give me some pricing so we have a goal to hit.
And I think that if it had been approached in that manner, Rachel would not have like turned her nose up at it, because like even like she has a globe on her coffee table that has like destinations that she wants to go. And she was like, every so often I just stick my hand in here and pick out a destination and I plan to go. I think that he's looking at her as being
financially irresponsible.
No, I don't.
And he looks at her like that.
Well, no, that wasn't what I was saying, though. I think that he looks at her as being too spontaneous.
Yeah.
As far as money and travel is concerned. Right. And I don't know Rachel. I do know that she did make mention of going to the World Series, and that was like financially irresponsible on her part. She was like, she maxed out a credit card just to do it. But I think that saying, hey, I would like to go to Switzerland. Let's figure out how we can go to Switzerland should be a conversation instead of, no, let's go to New York instead. Yeah. Because there's no comparison.
I got you.
Like whatsoever. So during the meeting with Pastor Cal, we did find out that they consummated their marriage. Never mind. I was about to say they are the only ones, but they are not. Zach and Michaela did. Yeah. And then at the ending, before they were going to bed, I believe, Jose showed his toothpaste versus Rachel's toothpaste, and Tommy got like emotionally triggered.
Yeah, that would bother me. Just squeeze it from the bottom, man.
That's why she has her own toothpaste.
She bam that toothpaste. Oh my dear.
So that's all I have for them. Do you have anything else?
Nah, that's it, man.
All right, Bao and Johnny are who I have next. So they opened up with Bao snoring on the plane, like she was going to town with her snoring. I was like, oh. So they make it to the neutral apartment. And once they make it into the neutral apartment, Bao starts walking around and talking about all the things that she doesn't like about the apartment. I was like, all right, Mirala. Right. Let's not walk in here and get this started. You are only here for 8 weeks. Let's move on.
Right.
So they get back to talking about the showers before bed situation. And she was like, no. I'm still very curious about when Johnny takes these 3 showers. Like,
I'm not too curious about when he takes the showers. I'm just more concerned that she doesn't take enough.
No, I am concerned about her not taking enough, but I'm starting with his 3 because that is oh, great, you take showers. Bruh, when do you have time to do this? Yeah. Because like, if you have a commute from work, are you taking your second shower at 5 and then another one at 9:30? I don't know.
He might take a shower when he wakes up, middle of the day, go to work and work out, take a shower after he does that. Before he gets into bed, take a shower. There's 3 showers right there. So.
Could be. Bao says no, she's not taking a shower before bed. I'm just be completely honest. Nothing feels better than taking a shower and then climbing into your clean bed. Like, especially when you like first change the sheets. It's just like there's something about that feeling. And I feel like Bao needs to experience that more.
I think Bao needs to read the room a little bit better and understand that, hey, this shower thing really bothers him. So let me, like, I get it. You know, it's not something you have been used to doing, but hey, man, it's like you have a spouse now and you're trying to make this thing work. Taking a shower shouldn't be a make or break thing. Just take a shower, man. Like, if you need me to take a shower, like, it's been plenty of times you done told me, hey, man, you stink, you need to go take a shower. And I'm like, you right. Or don't get in the bed, you know, because you're dirty, go take a shower. I'm like, all right, cool. That's I don't have an issue with that. You know, Johnny has expressed his disdain with having her not take a shower. Mm-hmm. I think that's a good compromise. And her just saying no. I just want to
know, what is the shower, not routine. Like, I don't even know what you do in there, but when are the showers occurring? Because I guess that's the confusing part.
He doesn't want her to get in the bed dirty.
No, I get that. I'm just saying, because she's like stuck on, I'm not doing this. And I'm like, when do you shower? Because she was saying she goes like days at a time. Like, when does it happen?
I don't know, man.
I got questions.
Like, I don't know.
So Johnny says that he wanted to go home for a few days after this conversation because the honeymoon was draining. He just needs an emotional reset. I was like, Johnny, welcome to marriage. Go in the other room and shut up. Because when you get married, you're not going to have a home to go to.
Yeah.
That is not the same home that your spouse lives in. So
you definitely got to find that space that you need.
Yeah, you need to take some time and decompress in the other room and come on back out later on. So she did tell him that she's concerned because he's trying to run home instead of working things out. So he did end up going back to his house. He disappeared for a couple of days. I'm not gonna lie to you, I would be pissed. But I guess also he's pissed about the non-showering. So
yeah.
I feel like that's just some things they got to work through. Mostly her working through a shower. So they came back together and they had wine and dinner. And as they were brushing their teeth, they discussed their sleeping arrangements, if they were going to sleep in the same bed or not. Bao was like, yes, I would like to sleep in the same bed as my husband. Johnny didn't say it, but I feel like he was thinking, I don't want to sleep next to this dirty woman. But he was like, yeah, we'll sleep in the same bed together. So then they go to each other's homes. Johnny gets to Bao's house and he's so excited that she has a bidet. She comes over to his place and then she gets excited because he also has a bidet. Like, they spent way too much time in her bathroom talking about the toilet paper and the wipes and the bidet. And I was like, we clean our butt this extensively, but not our, I was about to say pits, tits, and naughty bits. What was that from? Orange is the New Black.
Yeah.
But it's just like...
I want a bidet.
Okay. So it's just like, okay, we're talking about being excessively clean. Let's just clean the rest of our bodies as well. So...
The two play with lightsabers.
I did write down that they had a lightsaber fight, which I think that was cute that she was into this lightsaber fight. Then they had Pastor Cal come by and they discussed that their biggest issue is that Bao feels rejected. She feels like she has to make all the advances for intimacy. Johnny said, do you want to know why? And I was like, he about to say she stink.
I just knew he was about to bring up the shower thing.
But he said that she gets giddy like a little kid and it turns him off. And I was like, when they replayed the clips of what happens, I was like, that doesn't remind me of a child.
Nah, at all. Like, I was like, out of all the things you say her giddiness, her excitement for something, reminds you of, you need to be around children a little bit more. Also, that doesn't bother me. That shouldn't, that the way somebody reacts to something should not bother you.
Unless it's like over the top, like dramatics,
right.
throwing stuff, like stuff like that.
But let me rephrase it. The way that she reacted to the examples that were given, I don't feel like should have bothered you in a manner that she's not attractive.
Right.
Even with having children, you have to see some unattractive things. But even still, you did, like, for me, I thought you were very attractive, pregnant, but you didn't feel that way.
I didn't think about what I felt like.
Right.
I felt tired.
It's like, you gotta hear you throw up, and stuff happens. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I was like, he said, get it. I was like, bro, like, why didn't you talk about the shower thing? Like, that was a prime place to talk about it.
He said that her giddiness is not hot and spicy and it doesn't get him going. Pastor Cal, like, Bao, of course, felt very hurt by this. And Pastor Cal was like, Bao, that's not your issue. That's his issue. Right. So, Johnny, I'm going to challenge you to figure this out, because that is how Bao expresses herself. And you need to do better in this situation. So, hopefully, he finds a way to find her excitement to be endearing. I'm not saying he has to find it sexual, but like, it's kind of like how you bring something home for your spouse just to get the reaction out of them because you know it's going to make them happy. I remember, this was years ago, but I remember one time Tommy and I both had gone out for the day. And when we came back, we had both gotten each other the same snack. And we were both like, oh, you thought about me. And it was just a simple cookies and cream bar. But it was just like, oh, like, I'm happy that you did this, even though, like, I did the exact same thing for you. So, yeah, I hope Johnny can figure that part of his life out. So, you done with them?
Yeah.
Next, Gil and Mirala. So Gil carried Mirala over the threshold, and apparently Mirala didn't like that.
She thought it was corny.
Just want to know, does this woman like anything other than spending money? Because I haven't come up with anything yet that she likes other than spending money.
She did like the apartment. She said that.
She did. Okay, I'll give you that. I will give you that. So they walk around the apartment. Gil was like, I don't need all this. I was like, shut up. You're not paying for it. Like, it's 8 weeks. Nobody cares.
Hush.
So they go back to Mirala's apartment to start packing up her things to come over to the house. And Mirala has a shrine to herself on vacation. And I was like, I've never thought to blow up pictures of myself from vacation and make a shrine. But she's like, it's just where I want to be.
It's like her, like how I collect shot glasses. It's like her thing. Mm-hmm. So I thought that was cute. I was like, who took the picture?
She probably has a tripod self timer. So they go into her closet. Well, that's if she's doing solo travel. But they go into her closet and we see a mini consignment shop of luxury goods. She's got all her Louis Vuitton bags up top and her Chanel things, and she spends a lot of money. She told him that she buys 2 to 3 pairs of shoes 2 to 3 times a year. Gil said that she needs to spend her money differently. You know, there's a lot of talk about the way that Mirala spends money. And I think the biggest issue is not that she spends a lot of money. It's that she places such an emphasis on spending a lot of money. Yeah. Because if, you know, she was, and she probably is obviously making 6 figures. I think that, you know, she says she's a consultant, so you can do that, especially if you're a consultant and you have a job, like doing both of those simultaneously, you can make great money. But I think the thing is that she has to talk about every single luxury piece and what she could be shopping for instead of doing X, Y, and Z. I think that's where the irritation comes from. Because if you just went in Miralas Closet and she never made mention that she needs to buy Prada, she needs to buy Chanel, she needs to have red bottoms, you would just be like, dang girl, you spend a lot of money on shoes, and you would move on. But it's the emphasis that's placed on it that's the problem. It's like it's almost like she feels like she's nothing without spending her money on these things. Not that she's not spending money, but it's like, it doesn't make sense to me. So Gil told her she needs to spend, or Gil said she needs to spend her money differently. I'm not sure if that was in confessional or to her. But then they went over to Gil's place and they are immediately met with hype. I expected hype to be a lot more hyper than that. You know, he didn't live up to his name in that moment.
But I mean, Gil was like telling him to chill.
He was, but you know, you've met dogs that don't chill no matter what you say. So Mirala starts complaining immediately about hype slobbing on things, which I get. You don't like dogs. Spend some of your shoe money on getting a maid and getting a dog walker and more groomings. You won't smell the dog. You won't have to have the dog around during certain times of day because somebody will be out walking the dog, and the house will be clean. Let's see. So, she also mentioned that he kissed the dog, and he was like, "Well, you're not kissing me," and I was like, touche. Can't tell him what to do with his lips. Well, you ain't doing nothing with his lips.
Right.
So Pastor Cal comes by and they talk about her closet. And Gil said he thinks that there's about $70,000 worth of merchandise in there. She's like, no. And then they start counting up the shoes. And Pastor Cal was like, all right, so you're about $70,000.
Yeah. Not too far-fetched.
And Pastor Cal just basically said purchases need to be discussed.
Large purchases.
Yeah, large purchases need to be discussed. And I remember us making a having a conversation about that earlier in our marriage. When we were both working full time and had an abundance of funds. That didn't last long. No, we had a conversation where if it was over, I think it was like $300, something like that. Or 5.
It was like $5.
If it was over $500, we had a conversation about it before we purchased it. And we still kind of do that to this day. Like
anything I feel considered like a large purchase, I kind of like throw it out there and just see what you're going to say. I've trained myself to do that just because it's like, do I really need it or do I need something else? And you most of the time will hit me with, well, what about X, Y, and Z? And I'm like, yeah.
And it's not even a asking for permission type situation. It's more so like, could you be using this money towards something different? Like, for an example, if you're looking at, and Tommy's really into like technology and he also is into photography. Can you buy a $400 lens that's going to do the same thing as the $900 lens? If you can, do that.
Yeah.
Or if it's like October when we're having this conversation, can't you hold out and see if there's going to be a Black Friday sale? Like, what do you need this for specifically right now? Yeah. Like, is it a requirement or can you like hold off for a little bit to wait for a sale? Which definitely lately has fared us very well because like washing machine, just thinking about that. Yeah. Like we waited to buy a new washer and dryer because of that reason. We waited for a sale and we were able to get what we wanted at a great price. But Pastor Cal just basically said they need to talk about purchases. And then they got into a conversation about intimacy, and Gil described their intimacy as a low budget film.
Yeah.
Which you would think that they were super comfortable with each other because they were sitting there. They like had hands on legs, holding hands. Like they were very close in that regard. But Mirala still hasn't kissed him, and
she's not.
she's not. And Gil told her he would be fine if at the ending of this experiment they had never had sex. But he was like, if you haven't kissed me by the end, we're automatically getting a divorce. Because what are we doing this for?
Right.
And I was like, I get it, because then you just become friend zoned to your spouse on purpose.
Yeah. So it's gonna be a big thing when they kiss each other for the first time.
If they kiss each other.
If they kiss each other.
Mirala does say that they do want to eventually have sex with each other, and she said kissing him is outside of her normal comfort zone, and essentially without a kiss, it ends in divorce at the ending of the experiment. Did you have anything else?
No, that was it.
All right. So next up is Brett and Ryan. Brett's flight back to Houston was much better than her flight to Florida. They did have a conversation about their dogs getting along. So Ryan comes over to Brett's place first and meets her dog, Baxter. Baxter and Ryan immediately get along.
Yeah.
Like, she's like, Baxter, you have a daddy now. And Baxter's like, word, daddy. Pick me up. So they ended up playing with each other, and then they go over to Ryan's place, and Baxter's in the car, and he brings down his dog, Mazzy, and the two of them meet each other. The two dogs get to meet each other. First, the dog met Brett, and then met Baxter. And they seemed like they were okay in the beginning. And then little Baxter had to exert dominance as the small dog.
Yeah.
And was growling and barking at Mazzy. But hopefully the dogs can get along, and it's not like Haley and Jacob's dogs.
Yeah.
So Ryan invited Brett in. And she says she really loves his house. She just wishes it has more color. She's like, he has 27 shades of brown. And so he's like, yeah, do whatever you want in here. I'm all for it. And I was like, that is the welcome that you want.
He was like, he went to her house and he was like, oh, I like the colors that she put in here.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And he was just like, brown. Brown. This looks fine. So in his house, there is a deer head in the bedroom, and she immediately asked him how attached he was to that. He was like, you can take it down. It's okay. I know it's weird.
We can put it in the garage or something.
Yeah. And I can definitely understand why Brett is like, do you need that? Because nobody wants to wake up to go pee in the middle of the night and that's looking at you.
Yeah.
And I'm happy that he wasn't like, these are my things.
Yeah.
And you can't move them. So I'm happy that he was at least open to that. Pastor Cal came over, and Ryan told Pastor Cal that this was easy and that she's the coolest person he's ever met. And I was like, that made my heart smile, because
we was unsure.
I can't read Ryan at all.
Ryan is a very dry person.
Yeah. She said that he makes her feel relaxed and like she can trust him. Then they talk about the deer head and doing country things. They did mention that they haven't had sex, and then our TV went out for 30 seconds. So I don't know what happened next. And then we were on commercial. So I feel a little bit better about the two of them as a couple. Ryan has just been a tough read. I think that Brett has liked him since the beginning. She's like, this can work. We can do this. And he's just not giving a this can work or this isn't it.
He said that they are basically they're in right now, and he doesn't see it right now, but he's they're slowly moving
I did
to
see that part. That was right
love.
When he came back.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got anything else for them?
No.
All right. So last up was Zach attacking Hurricane K. And K was a category 2.
Yeah.
But we see she's gonna get up to a 5.
Yeah.
So Zach is heading back from Florida, and he told Michaela that he was still testing positive for COVID so that he could surprise her. And he shows up at her door with roses. I think they were roses, flowers.
Yeah, they were roses.
And she's just like screaming and so excited to see him, which I get it, natural reaction. Michaela was packing in that moment to move into the apartment. She was just going to move in and wait for him to get there. So Michaela introduced Zach to her dog Nova, and then I don't know at what point we got to Zach's dog Bella meeting Nova, but the dogs did do great with each other. And then they sat down and had a conversation about how they're going to fight, and he said he's looking forward to their first fight. And I think he was looking forward to the first fight for makeup sex.
No, I think it's more so like everything has been going so well. What happens when it doesn't? Because we all have to go through the first argument and I don't remember our first argument, but I don't even remember our last argument. But like that, I mean, like for lack of better words, it's exciting too. Because there marks the change in your relationship where you officially become, together. Like, hey, we don't agree with each other, but we're still going to stick it out with each other, So that's why I think it was more so, he was like, he's looking forward to the first argument and everything like that.
So apparently their first argument came a lot sooner than they thought. Zach fell asleep on the couch with Bella. I don't know why he was waiting on the dog to fall asleep before he went to bed, because I was like,
he probably was just doing something and fell asleep.
I don't know. But he said he was waiting on Bella to fall asleep, and he fell asleep on the couch, and then he got up to go take Bella to doggy daycare, and Michaela woke up and Zach was gone. No note, no nothing, and category 2 started. So
she left, got her stuff, and left.
Yeah, because she said that he wasn't answering her phone calls or text messages during that time. So they get back to the apartment, and I don't want to say they're giving each other the silent treatment, but they're giving each other very I'm
mad at you right now.
It was very courteous conversation. Like, I'm not gonna argue with you, but you know that I'm mad. That's what she was giving. And he's like, what's wrong?
Right.
So she hit him with I just find it funny that. And she explained her frustration with him not coming to bed and also not communicating. And I get it. I think the lack of coming to bed after we've been apart for however many days is more frustrating than you leaving without telling me.
Yeah.
But she said that she thought that he was gone for good because him and the dog were gone. I was like, did he not have any clothes there? Like,
right. I don't know. Like, she definitely overreacted in that situation. So it was just like, Michaela, just think about it. But as they talked with Pastor Kyle, I kind of understood where she was coming from as far as like him not responding to, like, send a text message. That's the simplest and the easiest way of communication today. Is to say, hey, go on out, I'll be back, hour or two.
I don't know why he didn't think to send a text message, and also why he didn't just answer the phone when she called, because I'm sure she called a few times. She just seems like that type.
Or send a text message after she called, like, hey, do, and be done.
Mm-hmm. Can't talk, drop the dog off, be back at 9, because he said he came back at like 9:30.
Yeah.
Michaela's issue is abandonment. I get it. Her dad died. She doesn't want anyone to present themselves in her life and then leave her. her dad leaving was not his choice. He passed away. But she feels like he is just trying to abandon her. And he's like, I didn't see it that way. I was just doing what I needed to do for the day. And then I came back to the house.
I feel like Zach's age and his noviceness in relationship showed.
His longest one was like 6 months?
9 months.
9 months.
His longest relationship was 9 months. And I felt like, and I don't even want to say age. I want to say his noviceness in relationships are showing, because the first thing in a relationship is I'm going to communicate you, especially if we live together. I'm coming back. Or, you know, hey, I'm leaving. You know, most of the time you're like, hey, I'm leaving. If I stop and get me something, do you want something or anything? Just communicating that you're not just gone, or, you know, she knows how to find you. It's not a sense of having a low jack on your on your person, but it's a sense of just knowing, okay, he's safe or she's safe. You know.
I get it, but I don't get it. Like, and a conversation that we had during their argument was, look, she got upset with him, and he was like, so I'm just not going to talk about this. And she was like, have you reached a resolve? And I'm like, what resolve?
It's not one.
Would have had her not pissed off.
It's not one. It's not one. He did it like that was one of the better things to do, is just be like, hey, I'm pretty much done talking about this.
It's just like, I mean, I couldn't find a place that would have injected peace into that conversation, other than we just gonna stop talking about it.
Because the only thing he can say he can't fix what happened. He can't fix what she's mad about. Only thing he can fix is what is going forward to communicate better with her by understanding what type of communication that she needs. Like, some people would be perfectly fine with you just leaving and then coming back. Some people would never think about it, because essentially that's what he's been doing for the last however long he's been single. And so for him, obviously, he's like, well, I didn't think about it. So, you know, it wasn't a big deal to me. I was just going out doing an errand. I was coming right back. For her, oh, he's leaving me. I don't have to take this. He's not answering. He's not doing this. He's not doing that. I'm going home.
So her abandonment has taught her to also abandon.
Yeah.
And that's something she's going to have to work through in some therapy.
Right. She definitely needs to work through that. And it's some things that he has to work through.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm not giving him a pass at all.
But it was definitely a learning experience for him to understand who his woman is. Like, he knows that you're going to have to communicate better, because this lady, she fears abandonment. And abandonment to her is not answering the phone, not communicating with her, not telling her, hey, this is where I am. I'll call you back at a certain time. Now, if you give a time, if you say you're going to do something, you definitely have to be a person, and you definitely have to do it. So, for me, I would have been like, hey, babe, I'll be right back, or something like that. I would have went in and checked on you.
Which he did walk back there, and then he left. But I think part of it is he did not make connection with her so that she acknowledged his presence and his departure. Yeah. And that was the problem.
Yeah. So,
well, hopefully he gets through that.
He probably will. Then again, he may not.
I don't know. You have anything else?
No, that's it.
These couples?
Nope.
If you haven't already, please take a moment to subscribe to our channel, turn on the notification bell, and comment down below. Let us know what you thought of this week's episode. I don't have a question yet again.
What resolve?
Yes, that's a good one.
Is there for that situation between Michaela and Zach?
What could he have done in that moment to pacify? And I don't want to use the word pacify, because it's like, that's almost like, here, shut up. Yeah. Not going to fix it. I just want you to shut up. Yeah. But what could he have done in that moment to help her see his side, or for her to show him her side without the excessive language, because she started rattling out her cuss words.
Yeah.
And that automatically shuts someone down.
Yeah.
Yeah, let us know what you guys think about the Zach and Michaela situation and what could have been done in that moment. Not differently from...
But in that moment,
like in the argument.
In that argument, how could there been a better resolve that Michaela was looking for? So.
All right. That's all I got.
That's it.
Bye,
Peace.
y'all.